All right, Karolina Dean has entered the contest. Let's break her down. All right, so Carolina enters the contest with Special Lock Immunity, Incinerate Resisting, Glancing, Cold Snap Immunity, and a bunch of other great utility that will only help you in Battlegrounds, maybe places beyond. But let's discuss her combo first. What is her combo like? Now, when I was playing her, I didn't feel any clunkiness to playing her at all. I think she was relatively easy to play. It was really relatively easy to get into the sunlight, but that sunlight can be kind of tricky, so we'll get into that a little bit later. But overall, her damage was great. I just felt like it was really, she was just really easy to pick up and just go. Like, didn't require any like high skill requirements or anything of that nature. She was just really nice to play. Her specials were nice. Her animations are nice. Her heavy was really good for spacing and everything of that matter. So overall, I think her combo was fine. I didn't have any complaints initially while playing her, but we're gonna get into that. Let's talk about her strengths. What are her strengths? Well, one of her strengths is her incinerate damage. And if the opponent can be incinerated, she's going to do max damage to the opponent, and it's going to stack up really, really quick. Also, she has great damage mitigation. Like, she can glance a lot of hits when she has certain abilities and mechanics built onto her. So, well, not built onto her, when she has certain abilities active. And she also has power gain when she's in the sunlight, but getting that into that sunlight can be a little bit tricky. So keep that in mind, because you never really know what it'll be, but if you figure it out, she's going to be great. One of her weaknesses, though, as I said earlier, is Incinerate Immunity. If you can incinerate the opponent, she's going to be kind of useless. She's not going to hit as hard, and her damage isn't going to stack. Now, she does pretty decent damage, but she does need that Incinerate. And also champions that have buff control. So if you can take her buffs or just nullify her buffs, she's going to be kind of a wet noodle. She's not going to be as efficient, and she's not going to be able to get her rotation going. And also spacing requirements. Now, this is what I was talking about with the sunlight. The sunlight pops up all over the screen, and you never know where it's going to be next. And trying to figure out what you're going to, or try to gain power, or where the sun's going to be once it ends, can be a little bit annoying and kind of AI dependent, and it can be a little bit stressful. So keep that in mind when playing her. Let's talk about her immunities. One of her immunities, well, it's not an immunity, but it's a resistance. She's Incinerate resistant, so she's not going to be taking damage from Incinerate, and she can use that as willpower healing. Not an immunity, but I still feel like it was relevant to mention. Also, another one of her immunities, or one of her immunities, Special Lock / Power Lock immunity. She can't be Power Locked or Special Locked, so anytime Kabam comes on a new node that Special Locks the opponent, or Special Locks you, won't work. She's also Cold Snap and Frostbite immunity. I can't speak to that. I do apologize, but yeah, she's immune to Cold Snap and Frostbite, so keep that in mind when playing her. Now, what is she like when awakened? Well, I'm gonna read you her awaken ability. Well, whenever Karolina has her block, or her block is struck by a heavy attack, she consumes 6 incandescent buffs to resist a block break and grant herself a glancing buff for the duration of the attack. At 6+ incandescent buffs, personally incinerates also pulverize 1 armor up effect, removing it and dealing a burst of 3,500 direct damage for each incandescent buff. Gain 5% incinerate potency up to 6 incandescent buffs. So overall, I thought her awaken ability was okay. I don't know if I would use an awakening gem on her. I didn't really think she needed to be awakened to be effective. I thought, you know, she would be fine on awaken, or possibly fine at low sig. Like, I felt like her awaken ability just was like there. I feel like it could kind of was weak in my opinion, but maybe someone will find her awaken ability useful. Her prestige overall, though, isn't bad. She's at 33,460, so pretty decent prestige in my opinion, but I didn't see the point. Oh, I wouldn't awaken her if I have the ability or put 6 stones into her. Now, what is she like on defense? I'm gonna be honest, I thought she was kind of a weak defender. I didn't think she was all that tricky at all. Like, as you can see right here, I'm melting her with Archangel, and that's it. Like, she's not immune to poison or to bleed. It's just Cold Snap and Special Lock. Other than that, I don't think she's gonna be good on defense at all. I feel like you can take pretty much any of the regular nukes against her and melt her, or any Mystic champion will probably steal her buffs or just melt her right away. She's not going to be a tricky defender. It might take some time to get used to her animations, of course, because, you know, she's a newer champion, and, you know, we're just not used to her animations as of yet. But in due time, it won't be a problem. And I feel like as a defender, she's kind of a liability because I don't think she'll win many matches. But again, if the opponent can be incinerated, or if you can be incinerated, as you can see right here, her damage really can stack up, and she really can do a lot of damage in Battlegrounds, especially if the sunlight hits her right and she throws her special. And as you can see here, cost me the fight. Let's talk about a stat focus though. What stat focus is best for Karolina? I will recommend the offensive. For the offensive is critical rating or block proficiency, you know, to help with her damage on her special attacks. And you know, when you have the incandescent buff, you know, she's going to be glancing attacks. Now the defensive stat focus I recommend, because she's not a good defender, will probably be block penetration, because you know she's going to be she's kind of reliant on her specials, so the more damage you can do through the block, the more better she will be. But then again, those are my recommendations. Leave a comment below if you would, you know, put another or other stat focuses on her. The only relic I found useful for her was the Miss Marvel relic, because she doesn't really Karolina doesn't really shine with any of the current relics, but I'm assuming more relics will be coming, so I'll definitely recommend Miss Marvel for now. The only mastery I found beneficial for her was the parry / stupefy mastery, because you need to parry and, you know, get the passive stun. She wouldn't be good for the damage masteries in any way, shape, or form, because she's not immune to poison or to bleed, and she doesn't really have a way to regen. So again, my recommendation, leave a comment below if you think she would be good for some masteries, but those are the only one I found for her. Now, what are my overall thoughts on Karolina Dean? I actually thought she was a good champion. I do like her. I think she has great damage. I think she also has great utility. She's fine in Awaken, and she's fine at low sig. However, she's AI dependent, because you don't know where that sunlight's going to be, and in order to get to the sunlight, sometimes it might be behind the AI. You got to parry or force the AI back, so you got to rely on spacing requirements. She's a really weak defender, and she can kind of have a tricky playstyle, because in order to get the passive stun, you have to be in the sunlight. It won't work outside the sunlight, so it could hinder you and mess up your rotation when playing her. But I still feel like, even with those cons, and they are significant cons, I think she's still a good champion. It's just that, you know, the AI dependence really deters me from wanting to, you know, get this champion and really invest in this champion, is take this champion to rank 3 or possibly rank 4. Now, when you do get the sunlight and it's on your side, you know, you can passively stun the opponent, you can have unblockable specials, all the things of that nature, and that's really nice. But again, you never know where the sunlight's going to be, and I feel like that kind of takes away from her. But I think overall, she's still a really good champion. I think she will be really beneficial in Battlegrounds and other places. I think she will also be good at questing, but I don't think she will be a good defender. And with that tricky playstyle, I feel like I might deter a lot of summoners from playing her. But, you know, that's my opinion. Leave a comment below if you think otherwise. But overall, I do like this champion. I think Kabam did a good job with it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to go after her. So let me know what you think about her in the comments below. And yeah, I think decent champion. But if you did like this video, please leave a like. And if you're new here, if you can hit that sub, I'll greatly appreciate it. Y'all take care. Have a great and wonderful day.